Well, 2 packages today. Well, technically this one arrived yesterday, but I saved it for today. You know, it's obviously a Right Stuff package. Yeah. I'm just trying to keep the label side down. And then, of course, as we open this, we gotta pull that out. Interesting. And for this one, let's go ahead and scissors or something. Should be enough to just we can make it easy to open. Yeah, like that. Not exactly sure what I have today. Should be a neat surprise. Then we had 2 other things arrive. Let's turn this like this. Like that. And before we go through this, I did get a couple non-anime things. I picked up Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales, let's see, from Best Buy, and Pokken Tournament DX for the Switch. Is this actually lined up right? I don't know. I guess that's good enough. So let's take a look at www.wagnaria Volume 2. 2-disc set, so I'm guessing... What's the first one yet? Whatever. Let's see. Japanese with English subtitles, which is what I expected. Good looking girl, of course. Let's take a peek. That stuff. That stuff. Before we put this back in, I'm going to take a look underneath the covers. I guess it's really only this image that's worth looking at for now, in terms of showing this stuff. Anyways, next we've got Super Lovers Season 1 OVA, Blu-ray plus DVD. This looks very, tell me the right word? I don't know, Shonen-ai. Japanese with English subtitles. Oh, subtitles down there, okay. And region A only. Nice and straightforward. I am curious, sometimes titles like these are, you know, just really great, even if it's not the kind of material I normally care about, but I don't know. I keep spending so much time on other stuff. It's disappointing that I just can't explore, I guess. So these are Blu-rays 1 and 2 for up to 10 episodes. DVDs 1 and 2. I think same thing. Cool. This is a Funimation release. I mean, it looks like a Funimation release, but since it's not dubbed, I guess I hesitated a little bit. This is Love, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions Rikka version, Blu-ray plus DVD combo. And I think this is something different. That's what the Rikka version means. Is this a movie, maybe? Ow. It's a little pokey. Ow. It's very pokey. There we go. So before we look on the inside, on the back we see it's region A. It's got a dub, 1 disc, 96 minutes. Could be a 3-episode thing or a movie. Delusions of Light, My Brother, too short. For her side of the story, I don't know. I may have missed it saying it's a movie or something like that. But whatever. This is the DVD version. This is the Blu-ray version. Nice and straightforward. I did watch the second season. Maybe I should watch that. Next up, we've got Orange, the complete series. This looks very slice of life. I see it's regions A and B. It's got an English dub. Sincerely, your future self. This said the complete series. Okay, and this is the limited edition version, I guess, which means I don't know what all that means, especially since it's not separate. There we go. But it does mean that it comes with this thing on the back, which probably has some postcards in it, which, you know, it's a good thing. Ooh, that's a neat back. Not quite watercolors, but it's definitely neat and different. Oh, this is open. Let's take a peek. They're running. They're all running. I'm going to go backwards because I just realized the camera recognizes her face, his face, but only their two faces. That's kind of amusing. I'd think about it, but I don't know. Let's see on this. Guess I'll set this aside over here, and we'll take a peek on the inside. Oh, look. She's running. He's running. They're running. And they're still running. Running. Just recognizing both their faces. Were those the same people whose faces it recognized? Look, they're running. Can't get some good light on it. Oof. Oh, I should probably take a look. This is Blu-ray 1, Blu-ray 2, DVD 1, DVD 2. Okay. And we got a little booklet here, which looks like I saw some more running. Everybody in this anime is so happy and running. Next up, we've got Hunter X Hunter Volume 3. Double the episodes on 4 discs. A very Viz sort of release. You know, they'll release the same number of DVD and Blu-ray discs, same number of episodes per. This is interesting because, you know, that's a very different thing. What does back say and do? I don't know. I really should watch this. A lot of people like this version as well. Disc 1, Disc 2, Disc 3, and Disc 4. Yeah. But alas, I don't know. I'll figure the timing out eventually, maybe. Maybe not. I can never watch everything I want to. I can never play everything I want to, never complete everything I want to. Oh yes, this is Region A. Looks like these are the same disc arts as the DVD version. Of course, I'd have to actually pull them out to make sure they're actually DVDs and Blu-rays respectively. Space Patrol Luluco, which I'm kind of curious about. This is a Trigger release. The name, I don't know if the name sounds familiar or not. We can see it's both regions A and B, as well as English dubbed. I guess it just seemed like it would be chaotic to have on in the background. Well, there's a different cover underneath. Ow. I don't know. What did I say? It's regions A and B. I did say that. Oh, who's disc? Get back in there, disc. Blu-ray 1, DVD 1. Oh, so is this a volume 1? This is the complete series. Episodes 1 through 13, episodes 1 through 13. So So I think sounds like they're not super long on 3 DVDs. I'm trying to find a run time. Oh well, it's an interesting curiosity. And I'm guessing that the lighter style blue there is kind of to just make it work the way it is and not some degradation of color. Oh well, and last but not least, we got One Piece Season 9 Voyage 3 DVD, of course. And you got your standard insides. There's an episode missed in this one, which is the second part of Luluco crossover, which one or Funimation has not licensed, but anyways, here's this week's anime DVD collection update. So let's just transition right into One Piece. I watched it with my friend that I've been watching this series with, and it was okay. I mean, good. It's one of those things where I'm enjoying what's happening. It's a little on the slow-paced side. Doesn't feel as bad as whatever that one was called, but I don't remember. I mean, maybe it's a perception thing, but overall I'm waiting to see where it goes because I'm really curious. It doesn't seem to be the most powerful story arc, but you know, that's going to be everything other than the most powerful story arc, right? I'm trying to think what I'm trying to say there, but I don't know. I'm pretty tired, so yeah. Like I mentioned before, there's one episode skipped over here because that is a side story crossover episode with Toriko, and the first one was skipped, so you know, that's the way it is. Next up, I watched Real Life, probably season 1. Yeah, this says season 1. Which is good because I want there to be more seasons because it was entertaining. It was also kind of depressing. It's one of those things where there's this entire idea of, okay, if you went back in time, could you fix the imperfect things about your life? And the truth of the matter is, I can't really think of anything that I would tell younger me that would change anything, or even if I was doing it again. The issues I have with the world just would be the same, and let's face it, my life's been pretty good. I mean, it hasn't been perfect by any means, but it's been enjoyable. Yeah. Well, hold on. I'm trailing off. The show itself, it was interesting that I had a vague guess what I thought the plot might be, which I didn't consider to be definitive until it had definitely happened. There were lots of things that I was wondering that didn't get filled in, but you know, it was entertaining. It's entertaining to watch some of the attitudes. It's got some good little twists to it, some of which you might have seen coming, because I think for me, I just didn't see a couple of them because I wasn't thinking about it too hard. So anybody who's watching and thinking about it, you know, they could, but if you're engrossed in it and you're just seeing where it goes, you know, that's pretty fun. Outside of that, I decided to start watching Kuromukuro, this thing with the samurai guy and the mechas, and it's confusing. Yeah, this thing. And it's been entertaining so far. I'd say it feels like it's better than what the rating on my anime list would suggest. But I also might not be remembering that rating very well, and I don't know. If you're wondering why I didn't put on some other thing that you thought I should be watching, I guess it's because I didn't want to dig through the pile. Being kind of lazy, I guess. I'm tired. Last week was an exhausting week. But for today, well, basically, no, what am I saying? I'm getting lost, sorry. I tried firing up Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, which I got last week, and part of my motivation there was I went to GameStop and got the Marshadow, and I like to patronize GameStop a little bit, you know, or I guess this is actually a lot considering every time I go I get something, but I like to you know, reward them for hosting Pokemon distributions. And so of course I got this. I chose this over Pokken Tournament DX then because I guess I was mostly curious about the character creation. I made a character and it's like, this is kind of fun. And went through the first tutorial. I could feel it was kind of rough around the edges in terms of getting up to speed with the game, I guess. And then nothing really happened until I fired it up again to show the friends some of the character creation stuff. And I guess for a little gameplay, here's the second tutorial, or battle tutorial, I guess. I'm trying to remember if there was any others outside that. And then it just kind of steamrolled from there. If I were to just talk about the game, if you're not familiar with it, I'd say the character creation is pretty fun. It's nothing super elaborate, but there's enough options that you feel like you'll make something that somebody else probably hasn't exactly made before. They could have, but and I don't know. I don't want to say too much of a judgment of the characters themselves so much as playing the game. It feels like my character isn't just some fan-made Sonic character sort of thing, where somebody just takes a Sonic and recolors them and gives them a sword or something like that, and they are Dark the Hedgehog or something weird like that. It doesn't exactly feel like that. It feels like a weird mix of, I don't know, it actually kind of reminds me of some experimental, no, more third-party RPGs kind of, except it's definitely got a very Monster Hunter-y vibe to it. Not in terms of, oh, you're going to hunt this monster and you're going to gather its parts and you're going to build a suit out of it. This one goes with the more traditional leveling up, and you do have clothing, and you do have something called the QQ Bang system that allows you to forget the stats of the clothing and instead focus on the stats you want, and then you can just wear whatever clothing as if it's decorative, so that your character can look however you want and still have the stats and powers and stuff for whatever you want. Attacks, they are not super specifically designed. You get introduced to a wide variety of characters, different attacks, and you don't have some requirement to use all of this one character's stuff or something. So there's just a lot of flexibility in the game to allow you to create a character that kind of plays the way you feel like playing. I think there may be some species and gender stuff that may encourage other stuff, but at the same time, my character is completely key focused, but she still does a good amount of physical damage when she attacks, so it may or may not make that big of a difference. I don't know. Maybe it's because humans are kind of balanced, so it doesn't matter that she's not key or physical focused. I don't know. And the rewards as you go are sufficient such that it feels like you really are accumulating stuff and building stuff just by continuing to play. And your skill, of course, gets a little better with a lot of the timing. A lot of the ramp up gets kind of weird, I guess, because they introduced this thing that at first looks like, oh, why are they just cutting and pasting important Dragon Ball stuff in here? And they kind of explain there's a time something or the other rifts, and your character's investigating them, and the difficulty for those can ramp up pretty fast. And I don't know that that's the highest difficulty stuff out there, because, like I said, the game has some some Monster Hunter feel to it, and a lot of that is, you got story stuff, you got single player and multiplayer, and these quests have a number of stars to them. They go all the way up to 7 stars, I think, because there's 7 Dragon Balls, which is a very, assuming I remember right, a clever way to do it. And I don't know. I've just been playing a lot this past week and a half, I guess. My character's level 55 or so, and
I don't know. I'm still on 3 stars quests that are kind of like whatever. And I don't know. I've been maybe thinking that I should focus a little less on grinding for every piece of item, which is kind of like Monster Hunter, where, you know, initially you begin like, oh, I'm just going to construct all the armor, and at some point you're like, it's taking too long to put together armor that I don't care about the look or the stats for, so I'm going to skip this monster and hunt the next one and the others in this star rank to get to the next rank. So there's a feeling kind of along those lines. I don't know what to think of the progression, because again, like I said, for someone like me, it kind of feels like, you know, I'm always accumulating stuff, so it kind of feels like it's this fun battle system with this stuff built around it that, you know, I like going in there and beating people up and trying to find new ways to combo the things I like to use in order to kill people. And as I progress through the game more, what was I thinking? I don't know. It's an interesting game. I'd say of the few Dragon Ball games I've played, it's definitely a positive one. Like I've played some fighting games, I think some emulated SNES Japanese releases, 1 or 2 of them, and one of them was kind of okay, but you know, it was very fighter game-ish, whereas this one, while it's fighter game, this one actually feels a lot more Dragon Ball Z-esque, with the exception of the overwhelming power level aspect to it. You know, there isn't any of that, so you can fight a mission where you're fighting both Raditz and Frieza at the same time or something like that, and Frieza may be more difficult, but worst case they may give him a little more health or stamina or something like that. Nothing that makes it feel like, oh well, he's 1,000 times more powerful than Raditz. Nothing that complicated. Oh well. And I guess that's kind of why I've gotten sucked in. I have been trying to do the Pokemon stuff because, you know, I want to level up Marshadow and another Pokemon to level 100 so I can patch their off stats with bottle caps. And I don't know what I'll do after that other than maybe wait for the release of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. You know, depends on if I get the urge to start another project. But let's face it, Mario Odyssey is coming out next week. And I'm probably not going to play Fire Warrior Emblems, but it did ship and that will arrive, and you'll see that case next week, like Pokken Tournament DX this week. I don't know, it's all stuff. Anyways, I think that pretty much covers everything I would try to cover normally. So, y'all have a nice week.